Hey everybody, it's Day Home with the God Strike Report, and in today's video we're going to go over an update to Janemba with set 7. Now Janemba, whether or not you love it or hate it, it's getting more tools, and there's different ways to play the deck now. You can do more than just mono blue, and there's different ways to play the deck, either hyper defensive, you can still play it more aggressive, whichever you prefer. And this one we're going to go over 4 different deck lists. 3 of them are mine, and then the last one is going to be Andrew Duvall's list that he sent me, and then we're going to look over about his take on Janemba. Now, for starters, there's really no terribly wrong way to play Janemba as long as you get the overall defense and either aggression that you want from the deck, and it all comes down to your playstyle. Like me, I prefer hard kind of lockdown control, not let my opponent do anything, and then just watch them lose. While as like Butters usually enjoys just milling them, forcing them not to draw as much, and then just honestly try to push in for the kill. Now, this first variation is just a rough draft of like a very hard control-esque version of blue-yellow Janemba. For the meta, I actually do think blue-yellow might be better going forward into it. You get all the counterplay tools you need to help interact and stop some of the combo kills and such of things like that. Now, this list is not for solid, but it's just a start off list. Now, I know some people don't like the Bojacks or do. Since this is more of a mill focused variation, we're going to incorporate the Bojacks, but you can easily not if you don't want to add more draw or other defensive options. All is fine, honestly. As long as you have a decent amount of multicolor cards to help filter, or not filter, but to allow you to play Frost Deadly Poison, Chomp of the Trickster, and Undying Spirits on Gohan. These are the most important cards for the blue-yellow Janemba list or any multicolored version. Especially this one, the Frosty Poison, which just catch people off guard with the, if you're at 3 life, obviously you get the untap too, so it's a 2 mana, cold below us, tap the creature and draw a card. I mean, I just love that. Draws a card. What's not to love? So in this one, you will notice we don't have the little fat boy Janemba with the childish heart. I was going to hold most of my mana anyways for the opponent's turn, so I didn't feel the need to play for 3 mana or anything like that. But we still have most of our draw. I cut down one Unbreakable, add another Bojack to make sure I always have the multicolor to help trigger Beerus for earlier charges and for these to be online. Now looking at it, you can either cut down on like a Janemba or two to add like another Chomp or an Undying, but I mean, guys, that's up to you. Alright, so this is the first rough draft of blue-yellow. Obviously, this is just more control version, more negates and ways to like stop your opponents from attacking and such, and just watching them deck out. Up next, we have what me and Butters were trying to make with a tri-colored Janemba control list, basically mega counterplay heavy. Um, so with this, instead of the Gohan, we played 4 Vegeta the Cruels. Obviously, either charge one of those or you charge a Cell. And it's just fun. Try to charge a multicolor turn 1, then a green turn 2, then you can Vegeta the Cruel somebody or Champa them. If you want to place Champa with the Gohan, you can, of course. Or the commies and such to add Bardock's, the overall ones. There's just so many different ways to build the decks, it's just all flexible and such. And we always have the core of Dimension Magic Sensu Beans, some Mofubas, your super combos, and then these Genembas are probably the most important to keep within the deck at a certain point. Sometimes you just want that nice spot removal of accelerating mill plan. And for these counterplay ones, the Janemba Agent of Destruction is extremely important. This one and the Reality Bender, whichever you prefer. I personally prefer the Agent of Destruction because I do use the counterplays to start pressuring life. That's something that's a benefit to playing counterplays in Janemba, is that you can pressure life more by having constant 15k pressure. It just eats on their hand more, and if you have a double strike Champa, it just makes that more viable to slowly start tempoing and aggressing your opponent down. And this Janemba allows you to do it easily by aggressing your opponent, letting you untap the mana that you need, so you're never really tapped out, and accelerates the mill plan while replacing itself. So this is our fun little meme one. Up next is the mono blue list. I have updated from since what you call it since the case tournament. This one's still fine to play. It's just the basic what you would expect from a Janemba mono blue, the childish heart tempo and such like that. Your one destruction Champa, gosh like Beerus. You know, I gotta love my one of fun ups with the Toki Toki engine. Still love the Toki engine, it's still really good. Now, important thing to note, in the mono blue versions, I still think the Supreme Kai of Time is better in the mono blue, as you don't really need to filter with Bardock to help declunk something in their hands, because everything is basically usable, or you should set up to use it. Whereas in like the blue yellow versions, if you have like two frost deadly poisons and you know you're not going to use two within the same time or any point that quickly, it gets kind of ugly in your hand where you just need combo power, and that Bardock allows you to dig deeper to filter that. Whereas the Supreme Kai just allows you to get more pressure onto the board, and worst case, you can just use Supreme Kai as like another, like a super combo in a wave. You can just combo with it on a leader swing to force a nice 25k. Up next is Andrew Duval's list. This is the list he took to Pro Play Tour Philly, and where he went undefeated in Swiss in his top 16 cut. He took an interesting line on the Blue Yellow Janemba. I'm gonna ask him later about how he did, and we're gonna have a follow up upon that. But I do like his list. He's got a Self Awakening. He's got Waste of Pressure. He just likes to play more aggressive in tempo in general. So he's got two Champas. He's got his two Pans, and he's still playing the Childish Hearts. I gotta ask him how that went for him with the Demon Swords and the Janemba Agent of Destructions. And he's playing three Undying Spirits on Gohan's in the main as his main counterplay on top of Frost Deadly Poison at 4. He plays only 8 dual colors, and 4 Frost Deadly Poison I think is a bit heavy, but he just ends up charging like 1 or 2 early anyways. And he opted to go into Bardox while cutting out the Champas into the sideboard. And as an additional awakening tool, when people bring in Crisis Crusher, he brought Oats of Power Tapion the take 2 and to like deny somebody a draw step, with having 2 more pseudo combos in the sideboard and only playing the cells in the main. Man has all the self-awaken between O's Power Tapion, Source of Power, and the Pans. Really not going to let any just Victory Strike or Shenron deck just like beat him down to dirt. He's got more aggressive options to help make these Double Strike Champas much more live and to pressure opponent down. This is where it comes in handy, where Janemba, there's multiple ways to play based upon your playstyle or the way you like it. Also fun interactions that he plays one all too easy. You can discard the all too easy to Bardock, and he's discarded after the overwhelm, so it's still in the graveyard. You still have your negate, so you really didn't neg anything from the Bardock. Really nice deck. I think it's very well constructed overall. The only other thing I would probably want is maybe just the 4th D Magic, but I'm a little biased as I love D Magic. Oh, that just sounds weird. Yeah. Janemba going forward, and we're going to have the new Crit Nemba builds going live with the new draft box card, which allows them to be. It's just more playable, honestly. The deck has another enabler to get out the Infernal Chain. So, can't wait to see how that goes. And as more blue and yellow or just counterplay cards come in general, or once we start getting blue-green, we get those options available to us too. As long as it's under 4 mana or it's an extra card, we're pretty much in there with Janemba. You can just slide in and test around. This deck's really never going away unless Bandai wants to hit something about it. But the deck's just super flexible, versatile, and it can adapt to any meta. We have enough tool cards to adapt to the meta. Alright, that's it for this update of Janemba. Appreciate everybody, and sorry about the lack of content. We'll be trying to get that more on. We'll be trying to get more onto that. And me and Butters are still trying to figure out a living situation. Once we get that all done, it'll all be better. Alright guys, catch you in the next video or stream.